Hey everybody, Debbie here with another Stratego game analysis. This is going to be our second game in the Road to Gold series with the flag up front. We're playing, I believe, a Silver Lieutenant player with a 389 ELO. Now this player was very passive, and then that made me kind of passive, so the game was kind of boring. I think I lost interest in this game, and I wasn't good at reading his board. I didn't find his marshal, and I never play well when I don't find the marshal. So let's get started to see how this game goes. And then I want you to try to remember his revealed pieces, because at the end of the game, I'm going to ask you if you can remember what a piece that was revealed. I'm going to ask you if you can remember what it was. And I forgot what it was, and that left me not understanding why my opponent did what he did. So that kind of made the ending a little bit complicated. So we'll see if you have a better memory than myself. So try to remember all his revealed pieces, and then we'll see if you can remember what that piece was. And that's why it's very important, I think, for players when you're starting to learn the game, is to record your games. Because a lot of times you might not understand your opponent's moves or why they do what they do until you can go back and review the game, maybe even several times, to figure out why they did what they did. So that's always a good idea to record games, and then to review the game the next day, maybe after you played it, and then review it maybe 2 months later to make sure that you're improving. And then you'll notice a lot more of your mistakes from your older games as you improve. And then you try not to do those mistakes again. Try not to repeat them. And then you'll be on your way to becoming a high gold or platinum player. All right, let's get started. I sped this game up because it was kind of boring. But we can learn some things from it. Now remember, you don't always have to. A lot of times players always concentrate too much on capturing pieces and not enough time thinking about where the flag is. You should try to think about where the flag is too, because you can win the game by capturing your opponent's flag. So I think a lot of times beginners forget about that. They're more interested in getting majors and captains and lieutenants and trying to get a big enough lead so their opponent surrenders. But you can win the game by getting the flag as well. So we both play really passive in this game. We both have scouts and sergeants. So I think I lost interest in this game. I think I might have fell asleep playing it. It just was so boring. You can see we're just swapping low pieces and probing with low pieces. And normally I come up here fairly aggressive and try to clear this column. That's what you want to do when you have a flag up front. You want to clear this column until you find a bomb. If you don't find a bomb, then you keep on going on the back row until you find a bomb. And then you can play a normal game. But I didn't even do that in this game. So I was just playing as passive as my opponent was. I probably should have taken that with my captain. Now we hope to swap with this captain. That's always good when you get a lieutenant and then this piece gets revealed and then you just want to swap so you get 2 for 1 with a piece. Because when a piece is revealed, then you have to defend it, becomes a target. So if you can swap with the opponent after you captured a piece, that's always a very good. If you can do that, 4 or 5 times in a game, you're probably going to win that game. So he's going through his scouts fairly quickly. I hope to get a scout with this miner. And I think players do much better when they're more aggressive than being passive. Uh, if you're just starting out to play Stratego, take your lumps early, but learn to play aggressive and play from behind, but get information and then keep on attacking. And eventually, once you learn how to play from behind to plan ahead with the information and then regain the lead, you're going to become a much, much better player. In my next series of games, when I start lottoing or attacking with my 3 majors to get information, that is a lot. That's a lot more fun playing. I really like that that style of playing, and I think you can win a lot more games that way. You find the information quicker, and then you put your opponent on the defensive mode instead of the offensive mode, and you're the attacker, and then and you can dictate how the game goes. But when you play passive, it's sort of like prevent defense in football. A lot of teams wind up losing when they play prevent defense. Now I want to guard this bomb, protect the bomb, so my bombs don't get revealed early. Anytime you have an open flag, you want to protect your bombs as long as possible. So now he finally got aggressive, so that was good on his part. And then we checked what was his ranking there. It's 389. Just, that's kind of weird. He's 638 and 636, but their math is a little off. It should be above 50%. But anyway. So let's see. So now he's coming in. This is probably, he found my major. So this is probably, we can assume, is probably better than a major. But it wasn't. It was a scout. So he just was very passive. Trying to bluff. So we look at the graveyard now. We're up a captain, but we're down 2 sergeants, and we're down a minor, and we're up 3 lieutenants. So you want to keep an eye on the graveyard so you don't get too far behind in smaller pieces. Now see, I don't like that. He brought a major from over here. Swapping. When he had an unknown piece, I think that was an unknown piece, and then he swapped with a known piece, so that's not good. If this was a known piece, I forget if that was a known piece or not. I thought it was an unknown piece. But you really don't want to swap unknown pieces with a revealed piece. So he would have been better off coming in with a colonel, and he could have got the major because it wasn't protected. So try to play aggressive. I think if you play more aggressive, you're going to win a lot more games. And when I say play aggressive, that doesn't mean lotto or do things that are foolish, but so I'm probably stumped at what to do here. And he hasn't come over on this side. I have my major and captain here, so that maybe this is a weak side because he hasn't attacked. Usually they attack this side when they see a captain or major over here. He's been attacking over on this side. So I'm still trying to protect this bomb. He has 3 scouts left. Are you guys asleep yet? I think I'm falling asleep watching the replay again. So we find a colonel. I want to get a scout. I hope to get a scout. And we get one. So that's always good to bluff that and then bring it back. And that was pretty good, finding a major and now a major, and we got a scout out of it. I don't think this was a good piece. I just don't think this is going to be a good piece coming from the back row here. Plus, you can assume stuff like that when the player plays so passively. He's like me. We both don't want to reveal our high pieces. And he thinks, I've been bluffing, he's been bluffing. So we're both holding off on our high pieces. I decided to check it just in case, because I really didn't want to lose my colonel then. So I forgot what that was. There's a major. So let's look at the scoreboard. We're even now. It's a really close game. I'm down 2 sergeants and a minor, but I'm up a scout. So I have to start to make things happen here. And it was a captain. So I have to really get going here. I decided to look at the scoreboard here, and you can see I'm like, it's time to get aggressive, or else I'm gonna lose easily here. We have to make this a game. You don't want to get too far down pieces, even lower pieces, because then you wind up losing. So I could not figure out where his. So now we found his other colonel. So he's probably playing a little more aggressive than I was. So we know this was the major, and this was the lieutenant. So I'm going to try to get this major. And we know that's a captain. So that's great. I wasn't sure what this was. This could have been his marshal. So I don't want to lose my general. See, that's the problem. He doesn't know what this is. But he knows my general. And I don't know what this is. And we know this is a colonel. So this is a colonel, and this could be the marshal or the general. Now this could be the marshal, or this could be the marshal, or maybe the marshal's here. I forget where the general came from. If this was the general, I forget. Or this came from over here in the second row. So he could have a marshal here, or a general here. But I'm not going to risk that. I don't think either one of these pieces is moved. So now he's going to find my marshal, and I'm going to take his captain. And I don't think he has a spy here or there. That would be really good, really deceptive if he did that. And then he would deserve to win if he had a spy here or here. So we're up lieutenant. But we're still down 2 sergeants. And we're down 2 minors, which is not good. So... And we don't know where his high pieces are. So he has a pretty strong advantage, even though I have the highest piece with the lieutenant. He knows where both my high pieces are. And he has 2 sergeants and 2 minor advantage. So things are not looking too good at the moment. Oh, but now I got the captain. So that's good. I got the captain. So now I'm up a captain and a lieutenant. So things aren't so bad. But now we can figure out what this piece, if I was paying attention during the game, but I probably was in a zombie state here. But what do you think this piece is? This piece chased my general, and it waited until it knew what this piece was. So you can assume that this is a general, because a marshal wouldn't come running in here with no fear, because the marshal has to fear the spy. But as soon as he knew where my marshal was, he came down and started moving in here. Maybe he was hoping a spy would hit this, but it wouldn't make any sense to. But I still wanted to know what it was, just in case, because this guy was so super passive. And really, it was a blunder on my part. I should have figured this out, that this was, in fact, his general. But I wasn't 100% sure here, because I probably was asleep. And we waste a lieutenant on it, and that was really bad, because we were up a captain and a lieutenant. And now this ruins my bomb flag in the corner possibility. So that really was a big waste there. That definitely could have been a big reason if I lose this game. It's because of scouting this general, and I should have known it was a general the way it was played. So I'm hoping he's not going to lotto, but this guy played so scared, you knew he wasn't going to lotto. And then he's not in bad shape now. He's only down a captain, but he's up 2 sergeants and 2 minors. And he knows where my marshal is. So he still has a really good advantage. So that's his colonel. We know that. We don't know what this piece is. I don't think it's moved. This could be the marshal, or this could be a spy. So I decided to move my major up so it doesn't look like I'm guarding anything here. This probably could be a bomb. Hasn't moved. So that's his colonel. This could be a spy. So I have to be careful. You know, if I lose my marshal to the spy, the game's probably over. The nice thing is I don't have to worry about his scouts. Now I'm right on what I'm doing right now is I know I'm not looking too good in the graveyard here, being down 2 sergeants and 2 miners. So I'm thinking, you know, I have to try to find the flag. We haven't found his marshal. The flag is usually 70% of the time on the marshal side. I think the flag's on this side, and I think the marshal is on this side. I don't think the marshal is over here. And so where could the flag possibly be here? And I usually go with the statistics. The most popular spot for a flag is 4 over from the left. And the second most popular spot is 4 over from the right. So I'm thinking, well, that's why I was pointing here with my mouse saying, yeah, bomb, bomb, bomb. Because we haven't found any of his bombs yet either. So I'm thinking possible bomb, 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 flag. And now I want to try to target these 2 pieces. And since we're up a captain, I want to bring up my captain to maybe hit these 2 pieces. So that's my goal. And then to use one of my miners to try to open up one of these 2 spots here if they're bombs. So that's my goal. Let me check his rating again. So that was kind of dumb. Now that lets his colonel back down, so I have to run away for a while. The nice thing when you play passive players is they usually don't lotto, and you know, unless they're way behind or at the end of the game. So we swap, and so now I'm thinking, yeah, bomb, 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 flag. Oh, that was nice here. This piece moves, so now that's really good. So then if it's a flag in the corner, it's open. So that's always nice when they move a piece from here. Now he's bringing this piece from the back row. So you can almost assume that this is a miner. So I was right with my captain. So we get that piece out of the way, and then I want to hit this piece because this is probably, if this is a bomb in the flag, this is probably a bomb. So then this is probably a sergeant or lieutenant. I'm hoping it's a lieutenant. So he has a miner here. So now I asked you at the beginning of the game, this piece, which came from here, but it didn't originally start from here, was revealed. And I forgot what it was. In fact, I didn't know it was revealed. I just didn't know what it was. I thought it could have been the marshal. And I didn't know if it even started the game from here. I just, like this game, I totally couldn't read the board, and I probably wasn't focused and wasn't really paying attention. So I had no idea what this piece was. So now he's gonna take the bomb. So I'm gonna protect my other bomb. And most of the time, late in the game, when I take this miner and then I get out of the way, this piece usually comes down and tries to win the game, because it looks like my flag could be here, right? And they hit this bomb. These double vertical bombs are very effective, you know, if you can get to the end game, because especially if you take the miner, then they'll come in with their next whatever piece is around, and it's usually a pretty good piece, and then they'll hit this bomb, and then that can give you a huge advantage in the end game, especially if they're down like a piece too. So then you'll be up 2 pieces. So I take the miner to protect this bomb, and I get out of the way, and this piece comes down, and I'm thinking maybe this is the Marshall. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't know where this piece was here, but it didn't start here. So do you guys remember what it was? Because I did not. This was actually his major, where I lost my captain to in the center, and it was over here, and it came here, and then he brought it back all the way over here, and then he brought his colonel in front of it. And if we go back, let's go back where it was here. I lost this captain to that piece right there. It's that major, and he put the major up there. My general chased it. Here it is. I wanted to trap that major, and usually I'm pretty good at remembering where the majors go. So this was his general coming up. This is the major. This was his captain, and he moves it along the back, and then he comes over here, and I'm not paying attention, and he tucks it in here. So that's a good tactic to always do, is to fill in these holes on the second row, because if players have played a lot of games in a row, they might forget that this spot moved or this spot moved. So if you fill them in, they might forget it's a piece that's even moved. So that's always a good tactic to do, and I totally forgot that this was a major. So and then he put the colonel in front of it. So then it looks like this has been there the whole game, right? And so let's go back to where he attacks. So now he comes down, and this was my mistake, because he probably thinks that I know this piece, because he knows this has been revealed, but I forgot about it. So what I should have done is I should have remembered this, and I should have taken him to make it look like, oh, you're going to win the game if you go down. But I forgot what this was. I forgot that it was revealed. And so since I moved away, he's like, uh-oh, this is probably not the flag. This is probably a bomb. So I gave this bomb up by not remembering, unfortunately, what this was. So he was very smart not to go down. He knew it was a bomb trap here, and decided not to attack that. And I was a little bit stunned why he didn't go down, because I thought he would want to win the game, but I didn't know what this piece was. So he played that perfectly, and so now I'm coming back down with my Marshall. I'm trying to act like, oh, he comes with this piece, and I think this piece could be, I thought this could be the Marshall, so I wasn't going to attack this, but I didn't know what it was, and then now this piece could have been the Marshall, because I don't know what this is, or could have been the spy, but I'm chasing it with my Marshall, hoping that one of these 2 pieces hits this. But now he's starting to chase me. And I'm like, uh-oh, what is this piece? I don't know what this piece is. This piece was here. Now, I think he had a major here, so maybe he has a major here, but I forgot. Like I said, in this game, I get a D for board reading because I just didn't read his board well. And it really wasn't that complicated, but you know, some games you don't play well. So he's chasing me. And now, usually, a good rule of thumb in general, when players under 400 chase you, maybe even under 450 ELO chase you, usually the first piece is not a bluff. It's usually the higher piece. So I'm assuming this is the Marshall. And he wants to chase me up here with this piece to trap me. And usually the second piece is usually the lower piece when you're playing, you know, silver players and bronze players. But when you start to play gold players and platinum players, they usually reverse it. They usually bluff with the lower piece and then want to catch you. The second piece is the higher piece. And that's a general rule of thumb. Platinum players do tend to mix it up a little bit. And the lower silver and bronze players tend to always come with the higher. And the second piece is lower. But so I'm assuming this is the Marshall. And so I decided to go up. And I still was mad that he didn't go down here. I still was like, why didn't he go down here? So I didn't figure that out. And the only reason I figured it out was afterwards when I watched the game a couple times and said, oh, that's why he played the way he did. So I attacked this piece. So that's really good now that it looks like bomb, 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 flag. We get the sergeant. So now we're only down one sergeant. And we're up a captain. But this doesn't look too good here. I have a 50-50 decision. I went with the stats, and unfortunately the stats let me down this time. So now I decide, well, it's time to go for the flag. And my opponent, what my opponent should do now is he probably should think defense first now. This was a big, impactful move he just did, taking my major. He's probably hoping I surrender. But what he should do is think defense first. He should, if this is a major, and this is a major, and this is his Marshall, you know, all his high pieces are down here. He might want to protect his flag first. So he knows this is his captain, so I would bring my Marshal over here first. That's what I would do if I were him. And then he could come up with some other offensive plan to attack. But he does not do that. And I'm not sure why. Because I'm bringing this piece from the back row, and he has to think that this is a minor. Now, I have to worry. I don't know if this is a major or not. This could have been his spy. But because he was such a passive player, I think this probably was his other major because he had two majors. So we know this is a major, and this probably was his other. But I'm not 100% sure. But I'm thinking his spy was probably on the other side of the flag. Here on the bomb structure. Bomb, 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 flag, spy. And this was his other major. So that's why I didn't go up there, but I'm protecting my captain. And now I don't know what he's doing here with this major. I don't understand why he's, you know, if it's too late for him now to bring his Marshal up here to play defense, why doesn't he attack one of these five pieces, right? Why not try to see if one of these is a flag, right? You got a 20% chance of winning if one of these is the flag on the back row. But he decides to go over here. I'm not sure what he's trying to do. Maybe you guys in the comments can write what he was trying to do, because I couldn't figure it out. Now maybe he figured it out. My flag was here. Maybe he thought, oh, maybe he watched my channel and knew this was my flag. because he could win the game. If he went directly here and attacked this, he would win the game because he can get there faster than I can get to his flag. But he stops. And he goes up with his marshal. I do not know why. And I get his flag for the victory. So, and then we move up to our new rating, 456. So I did not play well at all in this game because I didn't read the board well. And I wasn't aggressive. And I should have been aggressive because when your opponent's not aggressive, you can really be aggressive and you can capture a lot of his smaller pieces. And so yeah, this ending was a little bit strange here. Him bringing up the major. I guess he thought the major could take care of the captain, but he got cut off by my marshal. And unless this was a spy, maybe he thought he was going to get my marshal. But I don't know why he didn't hit one of these pieces here. It was just a strange ending. A strange ending to a, I think, semi-boring game. So but that just goes to show you, you don't need to be ahead in pieces if you can get your miners down here to get to the flag. So when you're ahead, you have to worry about that. You have to think about, you know, can a piece on this side protect from a miner coming up? And he was out of position. I assume this was his other major. And both his majors were down here and his marshal was here. And he should have played better defense to bring the marshal back. And then come up with a new plan of attack. But that cost him here, bringing up his, you know, he was looking really good here. He probably thought he won the game there, and then he let it slip away. So, because, you know, it has to be pretty obvious, a piece from the back. I figured out a bomb structure here, and the miner coming up. So yeah, it was a strange ending to a semi-boring game. But anyway, we learned some things. So thanks for watching, and I'll work on the next one. Bye for now.